What's going on, Spurs fans? I know it's been a really long time since I put a video on YouTube specifically for YouTube. I know it's been a bunch of podcasts. I know that you've seen me be busy with writing and with Las Vegas Summer League, and y'all helped me get there, raised over $2,000 to get me there. But what we're here for today is to talk about Josh Primo and Trey Jones. I'm starting a new series about their Summer League impact, breaking it down by specific parts of their games. And we're going to go ahead and start out with Josh Primo, talk about his space creation, talk about his finishing package. So let's just dive right into the film. According to Sports Info Solutions, Josh Primo was the worst paint finisher out of all the 2021 first-round draft picks who participated in Summer League, finishing just 3 of his 12 attempts from the rim out to the free throw line. And as we roll the tape, Primo clearly wants to get downhill and takes off from near the free throw line, and as we slow things down, you can see him trying to clear space with his elbow against the taller Killian Tilly, but it doesn't matter much as Xavier Tillman rotates over to provide support, and Primo ends up sandwiched between two defenders, so let's pause it. Josh is now in a difficult situation with limited options, and while he might be able to toss a hook pass down the baseline to Devin Vassell for a wide open corner 3, Jean Conchar is just as likely to deflect the ball or cause a turnover, and as we unpause, driving into traffic early in the shot clock results in a clanger off the backboard. Once again, Primo aggressively attacks the paint after receiving the ball, so let's freeze the film. 3 defenders have converged around the rookie guard, and while drawing the attention of multiple men can create good looks for your teammates, finishing at the rim was the only thing on Josh's mind, and as we roll the tape, he ends up contorting his body for an awkward attempt that has the Wolves going the other way. Some of the reasons Primo struggles to convert near the basket is because he lacks the burst, strength, and lift to get passed through and over defenders, which results in layups that look a lot like this one. And probably because of his slight frame, Josh Primo opts to sky and adjust rather than absorbing the contact, giving Cam Thomas a chance to negate this layup with his length. But you have to give Cam a ton of credit here, just an excellent implementation of verticality to avoid fouling while picking up a huge block to stop the Spurs in transition. This time down, Josh gets a little too ambitious and puts up a finger roll from the nail that would make George the Iceman Gervin blush, but he doesn't have the touch to help it find its target and the Nets regain possession. Later in the quarter, Josh uses a screen to get a mismatch with Raekwon Gray and hits him with a left-to-right crossover, leaning into contact but failing to hit a point-blank floater off the glass. Let's take a look at another example of Josh Primo trying to finish through contact, but before he initiates it, let's pause. One of the things I noticed while I was at Summer League was Primo's tendency to take off from pretty far away from the basket. Even here, you can see he gathers nearly 12 feet away from the rim, and as we unpause and slow things down a bit, Primo barrels through the chest of Day'Ron Sharpe, showing good body control to release the ball on his way back down to the earth, but he just can't convert a tough attempt. This might have been the play of Salt Lake Summer League had Primo pulled it off, but as we discussed earlier, he doesn't have the best vertical pop and takes off from a little too far away, cramming the ball into the front of the rim instead of posterizing Justin Patton. Revisiting his floater game, Primo gets a switch he wants with Tillman and takes him off the dribble, but let's stop the film. Once again, Josh opts to gather from an absurd distance from the rim, and just based on the body positioning of the defenders in this sequence, I think he could have gotten another dribble or step closer to the basket for an easier attempt, though as we unpause, he lets this one fly and it bricks off the back of the rim and presented no real threat to the Jazz on this play. In a virtually identical sequence in Las Vegas, Josh drives right, gathers into his floater from in between the three-point line and the paint, this time missing the rim altogether as it bounces off the bottom of the glass. We've talked extensively about Primo's troubles around the rim, but the few finishes he made were mighty impressive, including this contested teardrop from the free throw line that found nothing but the bottom of the net. Despite his ambidexterity, Josh almost exclusively drove right at Summer League, and we're going to have to hit the slow-mo button for us to truly appreciate this finish. Primo loved to use the scoop layup from his hip at Alabama, and he executes it perfectly here, fully extending his right arm, putting the ball where no one else can reach it, and watching it fall from the heavens to tickle the twine. Here, the rookie uses a brief screen from Devin Vassell to lose Isaiah Wright going left before taking 2 ridiculously long strides to round the corner on Kyle Fogg for a wrong-footed finish with his right hand. And while Fogg pulls up to avoid committing a foul after feeling the initial contact, the concentration and extension from Primo on this layup is impressive. Although Primo was well below average at the cup, the easiest way to score points is getting to the free throw line like he does here. And while he didn't get to the charity stripe too much at Summer League, it's worth taking a look at how he drew this foul. Watch as he recognizes Maceo Teague's left hand is resting on his hip before ripping the ball through his arm and generating undeniable contact, forcing the ref to blow his whistle. As you can see, Primo's form is silky smooth. and he shot nearly 80% from the line between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. Unfortunately, Josh only earned 9 attempts in 101 minutes, putting his free throw rate on par with what Ricky Rubio posted in the NBA a season ago. In other words, he doesn't really project to draw many shooting fouls at the next level. We've talked about several positives and negatives I saw from Primo at Summer League, but before we move on, we also have to address another area of improvement, which was his inability to create separation off the dribble. We won't explore every play, just 3 in particular that stood out to me, starting with this one. As we discussed earlier, Primo lacks top-end athleticism, which makes it easier for Shaq Buchanan to contain his initial penetration. Even when Josh retreats to the perimeter and hits Buchanan with an in-and-out cross, he just can't get by him and kicks it out to Jalen Morris. And against the Timberwolves, McKinley Wright IV had no trouble beating Primo to his spot and then sliding his feet to stick with him as he tried changing directions, eventually making Josh kill his dribble near the elbow before leaving his feet to hit Jalen Morris beyond the arc. Upon a second slower look, Primo might have been able to hit a cutting Joe Wieskamp for an uncontested layup, but we'll save passing, court vision, and decision making for another video in this Summer League series. Again, we're going to witness Primo dance with the ball on the perimeter in an attempt to shake Kenny Wooden, but the 6'8 forward cuts him off and the 18-year-old guard spins back to his right for a difficult one-legged fadeaway jumper, and that's just not an ideal shot. We'll round out this analysis with 3 examples of Josh being stripped on drives. The rookie must do a better job of protecting the rock when going up for layups, and in all 3 clips, Primo makes the mistake of bringing the ball low enough for defenders to poke it away. The good news is this is a fixable issue, and with those massive 10-inch mitts, I'm not too concerned about it becoming a real problem down the line. So that about does it for Josh Primo. We talked about his space creation, we talked about his finishing package, and we'll get to other parts of his game, and we're going to try to make this a 6-part series for each player, but I am moving here pretty soon, so there is going to be a little bit of a delay, but eventually we will get to these. They will be pretty regular once I'm all settled in, and I just want to say thank you, as always, for tuning in. Please subscribe, hit that notification button, give it a like, and leave a comment. Let me know what you like, what you want to see me improve, what you want to see me talk about in the future, because this channel is just as much it is for me as it is for you. And until next time, Spurs fans, take care.